Good evening, people. Welcome back to London and beyond. My name is Shay, and on this channel, we're talking all things London. On the last video, we spoke about getting into London, and on today's video, we're talking about these Oyster cards and getting around London. So, you've arrived into London, you've checked in at your hotel, and you want to explore the city. What are your options? Today, I'm talking about the London transport systems and also about the different options in regards to oysters, cost, and so on. Sit back, enjoy, let's go. On the screen, guys, you can see a map of the London transport system. This includes the London Underground, the London Overground, TfL Rail, Docklands Light Railway, and National Rail Services. London is divided into various transport zones, which range from Zone 1 in the city centre and goes all the way out to various zones, which include Zone 7, Zone 8, Zone 9 and beyond. Also, certain tube lines have what you call night tube. So these are trains that run during the night from Friday night until Sunday night. So if you decide to go clubbing or partying in London on a Friday night or Saturday night, you can get the night tube to your hotel. Transport for London breaks down people's journeys into peak journeys and off-peak journeys. Peak journeys are journeys that happen during the busier periods, which is what we call the rush hour. So these are during weekdays between 6:30 AM and 9:30 AM, and also 4 PM and 7 PM also. So guys, what are the various options in London in regards to getting around on transport? The main and obvious one is the Oyster Card. So, an Oyster Card is a pay-as-you-go card which you can top up and use on an ongoing basis anywhere in London. So guys, there's two ways you can get an Oyster Card. The first way is online by getting a visitor's Oyster Card, where you go online, you pay £5 and you get it sent to you. The second way is by going into a London train station and ordering it that way. You pay £5 and getting it done. Let me show you a way of how we top up our Oyster cards in the train station. Let's go. I'm going to show you how to pay with your Oyster card in the train station. Tap your Oyster on the yellow thing. Boom. Okay, brings up your current balance. So I want to top up as I go, so that, £20. Okay, that's the amount. Then I take my card, plug it in. Up in my pen. Pen is typed in. Right, it's been authorised. Take my Oyster card, hold it against that, updated, finished, bang. Very important, guys, as well, the Oyster card has a cap limit basically. So if you use the Oyster card a certain number of times a day in a certain number of zones, it gets capped. And the cap limit should be on the screen as we speak. So that is a very, very good advantage of the Oyster card. And this is valid for trains, for buses, for trams, and so on. On the screen, guys, as well, you'll see a list of other specialist travel cards that are available for travellers in London. Very important to note that children up to the age of 11 do not have to pay to travel on the London transport systems. So, this includes anything which is TfL run. So the London Underground, London Overground, TfL Rail, buses, trams, etc. National Rail may be different, but in TfL run services in London, children under the age of 11 are free. The second method that you can use, guys, to pay for transport in London is via contactless. So yes, you can use your debit or credit card to pay for your journeys in London. The price is the same as it would be for an Oyster card, but obviously with a contactless, obviously you can't top it up at the machine. But You can use contactless on all methods of transport in London as well. The third option, guys, that you can use is a travel card. So a travel card can be a paper ticket which you use, or you can put a travel card onto your Oyster card. Travel cards will allow you unlimited travel within a certain number of zones within a certain duration of time. So for example, a 1 week zone 1 to 2, a 1 month zone 1 to 3, a 1 year zone 1 to 6, and so on. You can also get, guys, a group travel card for groups of at least 10 people, basically. So if you're traveling in a group of 10, you can get a group travel card that covers the whole group for your duration of time in London. It is important to know as well, guys, that travel cards tend to be more expensive than using the Oyster and the pay as you go, especially if you're traveling between stations that are pretty much close together. If you can walk, I would advise to walk. Let's talk London buses. So the great thing about the London bus system is that you can make as many journeys as you want inside of an hour, all for £1.50. So unlike the tube where your fare depends on how far you've travelled, in London you can go anywhere, as much journeys as possible in an hour for £1.50. London also has a very extensive night bus service. So if you look at any bus stop that you're at in London, on top of it, you should see a list of bus routes that stop at that stop. The night bus routes are highlighted in light blue and they've got an N at the start of it. If you see these, it means that a night bus stops at that stop. So I believe night buses run from about 11 PM midnight onwards to about maybe 5, 6-ish in the morning. They're very convenient, especially after hours, because as you know, the tubes don't run on certain days after hours. For those that like to cycle, you can use the Santander bike scheme, or better known as the Boris bike. So these are bikes that you can pick up from various points across London. I believe the cost is £2 for every half an hour of usage. So what you do, you take your bank card, you go to the station, you tap your card and you pay £2, and then every half an hour you can pay £2 again, or you can pay £20 for example and use it for that duration of time. Let's talk London's iconic taxi options. The first obvious one is obviously the black cab. These are everywhere in London. You cannot miss them. So it's very, very simple. London black cabs everywhere to go. Literally, if you see one and there's no passengers in it, just put your hand out and they may stop. Also as well, Uber is available in London. And for those of you that obviously know Uber, Ubers like black cabs are everywhere and you can prepay via the app. But for some people, the black cab is part of the London experience and they want to take that route as well. You can nowadays pay via the black cab via card and also cash, whereas Uber you cannot pay via cash. So whichever one works for you, please choose that one. That is all for today's video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We're almost at 100 subscribers, so thank you very much for all of you that have subscribed so far. If you've got any questions, please email me, send me a message via Instagram. I'm here to help about anything in regards to London. I've got some great content coming up for you guys, some improved content and some good ideas. Let me know in the comments below what you want to see next. Anyway, in the meantime, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.